We, the jury, find the defendant, James Egan Holmes, guilty of murder in the first degree after deliberation.
San Diego native James Holmes found guilty of committing one of the worst mass shootings in American history. The verdict came nearly 3 years to the day of the massacre in the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado.
10 News reporter Dan Haggerty has been closely monitoring the breaking news in the 10 News Live Center. So Dan, Holmes showed absolutely no emotion while those verdicts were read.
Yeah, guilty on all counts, 165 of them, meaning that the jury did not buy the defense's argument that Holmes was insane. Reading 165 counts, one after the next, takes a while. Here's a glimpse at what we've been watching for the past hour or so.
We, the jury, find the defendant, James Egan Holmes, guilty of murder in the first degree. Verdict form count 4, murder in the first degree after deliberation. We, the jury, find the defendant, James Egan Holmes, guilty.
About an hour and a half of that, and let's talk a little bit about what it means. You already know he killed 12 people. We don't talk much about the people who he wounded, many of them permanently. People stuck in wheelchairs now, people who lost limbs. He killed 2 active duty service members that day. He killed a single mom. There was a man celebrating his 27th birthday who was killed. He killed a 6-year-old girl whose pregnant mother also shot, had a miscarriage, and is paralyzed now after that attack. He killed an aspiring broadcaster who had survived another mass shooting in Toronto. Most of the people that he killed died covering up other people, saving them. One woman testified during this about hiding with her husband who had been shot until he convinced her to leave him behind because she was 9 months pregnant with their baby. That's what happened in that movie theater that day. That's what San Diego native James Holmes did. So him showing no emotion in court today, probably not a big surprise to most people. There was a lot of emotion in that courtroom today. Some were saying it was the most emotional group moment for the victims and their families since this started about 3 years ago. They were crying in the seats. They were crying in the juror's box. A lot of tissues being passed around. A very emotional day in Colorado. In the Live Center, Dan Haggerty, 10 News.
Emotional and so horrific. And so here's what's next for James Holmes. There will be a sentencing phase to determine whether he will get the death penalty or life in prison. That part of the trial could last as long as a month. Holmes' lawyers will likely present more evidence that they believe proves mental illness in an attempt to save his life. As of April of this year, there are only 3 people on Colorado's death row. Only one person has been executed in Colorado since 1976.
And here's a look at some of the key dates that led up to that shooting. May of 2012, prosecutors say that he orders tear gas canisters and weapons, ammunition. They were all purchased, as well as guns, a rifle, 6,000 plus rounds of ammunition over the next few weeks. June 10th of 2012, Holmes files paperwork to withdraw from his neuroscience program. This is at the University of Colorado, but they don't say why. June 11th of 2012, Holmes meets with his psychiatrist. She tells campus police that he made homicidal statements and sent her threatening texts as well. And then July the 20th of 2012, of course, is that he opens fire at the midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises, killing 12 people and injuring 70 others.